everyone, I'm back, and I've been really getting into this mosaic since I did that piece for my cousin. I've done a couple of more smaller pieces, and I'm going to try something a little more daring, and I thought I'd bring you along the way. I actually had a dream about something like this. I was standing in this was like a huge thing on a wall somewhere, and it had mirror tiles in it too, so I think I want to do that part of it too. Maybe it's something I actually saw, but I don't think so. So I think it was some kind of inspiration. It was inspiration no matter how you look at it. So I'm going to make it. And also, this is reminiscent. I did a piece, one of my first early animations on the Amiga computer, which I don't even know how to. I don't have. I wonder if there's any way you can read Amiga files. But what I did was an animation like this. It was a keyboard, and in the animation, it was just moving through the space, moving through, and there was. I think there was like music notes that were flying through and hitting it too on the way down. But anyways, I just think it's like a cool idea. I've got this bigger piece of wood, so I just kind of drew this out real freehand, real, swoopy loosey, and then I did these, with the ruler. And I'm going to go ahead. What I'm going to do now, because I have to fire a loaded kiln, I've been doing some ceramics again too. I'm going to make other custom tiles as well. But I thought I'm going to make custom tiles. So what I'm going to do next is go through with clay and make these pieces. Make each key to fit into this puzzle. And I'm going to fire them, and I'm going to make them at the right size, because when they shrink, they're going to shrink down, but that's okay. Then there'll be room for grout. That's the plan. So we'll see how it works out. All right. So this is the first step. I'll check back in a little bit to take you on to the next step. Alright, so here I am. I've been working away on this, and these are all my white keys. And I'm just gonna, I probably should number them, but I'm gonna try to just keep them in order. Maybe I can when they get to be, I'm afraid to flip them over because they might just wilt or something. So maybe when they get to be like leather hard, I may try to carve numbers in on the back of them or something. But for now, they're just in order. And then from here we go to there. So I'm going to go and I'm going to just let them dry right on this board, I think. And then I'm just going to go ahead and I left the last one in place. So that's how I do it. Oops. Oh, that's stuck to the thing. Where's my deal here? My little scrapey thing. Gently. Don't smudge it together. Gently. I'm not too good at this. That's how I did it. I'm going to leave it here because it'll break free once it dries. It seems like it's kind of stuck there, and I'm not going to end up messing it up. I've already washed my hands and everything. Okay, so turned out pretty good. I'm taking a break right now, then I'm going to come back and do all the other squares, which are the black ones, and I'll turn the camera back on at that point. Okay, so I've been working away, and here we go. I've got all the black keys in place, and I'm just going to let them dry like that. As I said, it probably would be a good idea to turn them over and carve numbers in them or something, but I'll see how it goes. I don't want to end up breaking it or messing it up somehow. So this is just the clay that's got to get to bone dry, then we've got a bisque fire and everything else. So this is just the very first step of the building of it, and I think it's going to look kind of cool. So okay, so I'll check back in when we're ready to start the next step. Okay, I'm back, and I've got these, they're bone dry. What I did do is I went ahead and I did carve some numbers in them. So I'm going to try to just keep them all in line, but I did go ahead and just in case carve numbers in the back so that hopefully it'll come, it'll stay in after the firing. So they're bone dry, they're ready for their bisque firing. This clay gets really, really white. I have one of my roach jars here to show you. In the bottom you can see too. And all I've done on these, and this is what I think I'm going to be able to get away with on these keys is with that, so not having to use a lot of glaze, is I just put a clear glaze on them, and I'm pretty sure this is the exact same clay. So it's going to turn white enough, I think, and I don't think that I'm going to have to do any white glaze over them. I'm just going to do a clear after they're fired. Of course, these black ones are going to have to be black. I think I might use like an underglaze too on these and just do them black and then fire them for the other firing. Okay, so here we are. This is the step. I did go ahead and number them, and I'm going to show you the next step along the way. Okay, so I'm back, and this is the next step in this mosaic piece. I've fired the bisque firing, And these weren't as white as I'd hoped, so I did go ahead and put a white glaze on. I thought I was going to be able to get away with just a clear, but I'm going to put the white on just for good measure. I did do an underglaze on these, the black keys in black, and now I'm going to just put a clear over this. They've been bisque fired. Now the clear is green. I wanted to show you it now because this is green and it dries kind of foggy and hazy and it looks weird. But then once it's fired, it's going to have a real shiny, nice coat on it. And of course I'm doing, you never just do a few things in the kiln. I've got a whole bunch of mosaic type of tiles that I've been making and working on, and I'll just show you some of these. Just different things, butterflies and acorns over here. I don't know if you can see some of these little acorns that I've been made some of these, and some different, stars and whatnot. And I'm also going to be doing these textiles here. They're not textiles, they're tiles that have text on them. And these are cool. I used the underglaze on these. This is the blue underglaze, and then I just put some white over it because I think that's going to really make it pop and look cool. And I'm doing a bunch of these, and so I'll have a lot of mosaic pieces to work with. Okay, so here we are at the next step in this keyboard mosaic. These are going to get coated with clear and go in for the second firing, and we'll check back in a little bit. Okay, I'm back on this project, and I've got these out. I put white because on the bisque fire the backs weren't too white, and so I did put a white glaze on it. I wish I wouldn't have. I wish I would have just went with the clear, but it's going to be okay. It's mosaic. And this I just used that underglaze with the clear. That clear really gives it a really good gloss. And I think in the future I might just be switching to all underglazes for straight color things like this, and then clear over. Good thing I numbered these too, and they did hold up. Like this is number 6 because it would have been really, really difficult to keep it all together here. So here's my board, and I'm going to go ahead and, start gluing those on. Then I'm going to think about what else I want to do. Some other things I fired on this load since I'm in this big time. I made a bunch of butterflies and different things, and I made some tiles, like little love and, art and music. This whole load of this this whole load of this kiln was all geared towards doing mosaics. And the other thing that I did, because it's so expensive to buy tiles at the home improvement store, I just rolled out a bunch of clay in different colors and I kind of scored them, and I'm pretty sure that's going to make it real easy to break. And so I'm just going to make a bunch of these for these these border tiles and these tiles. I've got tons of them. I got them in every color, ton of white. I've done all colors. So this is how I'm going to spend my afternoon, is cutting these up and putting them in here, but that'll be nice. I'll have plenty of them, and they're already cut into nice, perfect pieces. And these whites, I should have just did a clear over it, but, this blue, I did 3 coats of this blue, and there's nothing, this blue is just not the best glaze. But again, for mosaics, it's okay. It's still sort of like watery, runny. But I'm happy, and I'm going to move on. I'll be back to show you the keyboard in progress. I ordered some blue grout because I think I want to use blue grout on it. So I'm going to get back to this. Today I'll be chopping up tiles, but I'll get back to this, and I'm going to glue on all the keys, and then we're going to make the other parts of it. I think it's going to turn out really cool. Okay, back in a bit. Okay, everybody, I've got these out of the kiln and lined up, and I ended up even numbering the the spots they're in. That's 4, and then 4 goes here. Some of them were just too thick. I had to kind of use my clippers, and it's not really the neatest job, but there's a few like that I had to kind of trim down. So here it is. I'm going to go through with my silicone, and then I'm going to do the next thing. These, on the other hand, did not turn out to be and I'm ruining my clippers that I use for my glass by cutting them up, and they've come out. Let's bring this over here. They've come out not so hot. These were the ones, it's probably better to take the time. These are the nice little tiles that I made that I cut ahead, and I didn't want to have to go through and set each one in the kiln. I thought, well, I'll just fire these, and I have these tile sitters, and then I'll cut them up later. But it's not, I'm not too thrilled with how those come out. I mean, I will still use them, definitely, but look at the difference between, it's a different clay too. They're too thick too. They're way too thick. So, but I will use them, here, So I'm not thrilled with that was not a good idea. It was an experiment, and wasn't the best thing to do. And I'm probably going to have to toss my glass cutting tile snips after this because they're just getting a big workout here. But I mean, I guess, you know, they look okay. So that's that. But back over to the keyboard. So I think it's turning out pretty sweet. And I'll turn the camera back on when I've got some more. I don't even know yet what I want to do with the rest of it. I'm going to glue these down, silicone them down, and I'll turn the camera back on when I get to the next. Okay, so I went ahead and glued down the keyboards. And you know, if I ever were to do another one of these, which I doubt, but you know, these are recessed, so I probably would make those be not recessed, more sticking out further. But it's going to be okay. I laid out this thing, and I kind of like it. I put some pink in that, but it's looking a little too beachy. And I'm hoping that I got this sheet of black, you know, board out here. I forget what kind of board you call this. And I just want to, because I want to get a better visualization. Is it gonna look beachy on the black? Because if it is, beachy is definitely not what I'm after. So I'm gonna lay them out on here so I can get a better visualization. Oops, and I'm gonna stand up. Yeah, I'm still not sure if I'm going to like that. It just looks too pastel-y. With my dream, I'm trying to recreate my dream, and the dream, it didn't look beachy or pastel-y. It all looked like Vegas, and it was mirrors. And I even got some mirror tiles that I'm going to use too. So, you know, I'm not so sure. I'm going to look it over and decide which way we're going to go here. I may end up changing up this whole thing. I'm going to play around with this black poster board. That's what this is called. And see, I may end up going with it. I'm going to look at it and I want to, but this is, you know, this is another way. Before you glue it down and it's permanent forever, you might want to, you know, look at it, because I do plan on using a black grout. I was maybe going to use a blue grout too, but I'm going to use a dark grout no matter what. I'm sure I'm going to use a dark colored grout. And so I'm just going to play around for a little bit and try to visualize it and go from there. Okay, everybody, so I did reconsider, and I'm really glad that I did. And I went around and I've got this new look and I'm very happy with it. I did test it on the black. I wouldn't recommend, if you can see over here, doing that, because I ended up going with these. I forgot I had these. They're pretty cool. These translucent, I think they're glass, maybe plastic. I'm pretty sure they're glass. But at any rate, you can see that mark through there. So I probably shouldn't do that. This would be the better option, but I wasn't sure. But here's the thing: if you're not sure, don't do it. You know, sleep on it. There's something to be said for that. You know, come at it the next day with fresh eyes. And I find that's true with, you know, art, music, writing, all of it. The music, it's come at it with, you know, fresh ears the next day. If you're getting frustrated and something's not right, then stop. You know, that's all you got to do. So I like this. I haven't glued anything down yet. I'm still debating on this very top piece. For some reason, I want to use this big thing, but again, I don't know why. I don't want it to look like, to me, that seems kind of beachy again. I'm depending on these three here, so I'm debating rather. I also have these, I've had these for a while. I have a bunch of them. They're old broken cymbal pieces from drummers. And I was going to make jewelry out of them and different things, but I'm thinking, well, since this is music, and I saw that I do have some mirror tiles, and that thing in my dream was so reflective, maybe I'm going to try to cut these up and incorporate them around in the background too. That's an experiment, and remains to be seen. And that's what I like about these. They kind of, you know, they have like a shimmer to them. And that's the dream. That's what I saw. It was like all shimmery, shiny. So, I mean, I guess I don't have to go with the dream. But that other color scheme, I was not happy with it. Not only did it remind me of beaches or like a child's room or, you know, babies or something. So this is definitely more on the right path. And, you know, these do show up pretty good on the black. I don't know if you can see that down there. Let me scoot this up. But you can still see them. They still have some color, but it's not going to be so shocking. So I think this is going to work out. I'm going to go ahead and throw in silicone, and I'll be back. Talk to you in a minute. Okay, so I've got these little things, and they're cool colors too. But they're for kids, and they say cut with scissors. So I'm not so sure if these are I like the color combinations, but I'm not so sure if they're going to be durable. So I'm going to do a little looking around on that, and I definitely want to do like a combination. I think I might try a combination of different sizes too. Like these aren't all the same size, so not so uniform. Some metallic and some dull. I like that. I'm going to have to see if these are going to hold up, or do I have to put a sealer, or maybe not even use them if they're going to break. Okay, so this is where I'm at right now. I'm going to go ahead and put this border in for sure and make some more decisions on the background. I've got a few little things I'm pondering with these notes, and maybe because this is black it might not show up. I may put it, you know, in later because I'm going to use the black grout again, or maybe a dark blue in the center. I'm not sure. All right, so here we are. This is where I'm at. I'll check back in a little bit. Okay, I'm back, and I've decided on not to use these children's things in here because I just feel like they're not going to be durable, and I really want to go with real reflective stuff. So I'm going more with doing the glass. I'm working out over in this section. I made a little flower out of some like mother of pearl stuff too, and we're going to see how that pans out. It's opposite, where normally I have my accents sticking out, and that's the case of the keyboard here, and these, you know, accents, these are glued in, the little dragonfly and the two music notes. And I did these little accents around here. Normally, you can see it better up there. I got these on every corner around the circle thing. So normally I make the accents stick out. This is recessed, this flower, because it's very, very thin. It's made like a mother of pearl. So that's recessed back. So that's going to be something a little different too. So we're going to see how that works out. But I want to go with the reflective, you know, all of these tiles that I'm using, even though they're colorful, they're very reflective, because that's the way I saw it in that dream. And I don't know why. I want to just try to copy what I saw in that dream. Okay, so it's coming right along. I'll turn the camera on again in a little while. Okay, I just finished gluing up or siliconing all the top ones here. As you can see, I'm going to move it around so you get a good view of all of them. I'm getting a little nervous. It looks a little bright, and I'm hoping that these designs, right now they seem kind of lost, this flower and these notes and stuff. But I'm hoping that with the black grout, it'll change. I'm also debating, because I have some blue grout, and I was thinking about using this channel here, using that navy blue grout to maybe give more of a contrast here, so this black. But see, there's some weird things here, if you can see that. I think maybe the black would be better because it'll fill in. If there's a little weird gap, the black will kind of just fill it in. So I'm undecided on that yet, as of yet. But this is the tops glued, and I'm going to take a break. I think I'll do the rest tomorrow or something. I'm getting a little tired of it. Look, it looks cool, but I'm just, well, you know, it remains to be seen. It'll be cool either way. It may not come out like I thought, but it'll be cool. This thing is big, too. I don't really know if you can realize how big it is. It's pretty wide. It's pretty wide. I have a thing here. It's 2 feet wide, roughly, or 23 inches. So it's not just a little small piece. It takes a really long time to do this. Okay, so here we are. The top half is done. I'm going to do a quick pan around here. And I'll turn it back on when we get the bottom done. Okay, so I've finished the keyboard. There's one mistake here, but I'm just going to leave it. It's dry. That must have got knocked around while it was there. So this is it. I'm a little apprehensive. I think it looks kind of gaudy. But I'm hoping that the black grout is going to tone it down, and I think it will. I hope it will. So I'm on to the grouting. I'm not going to show the grouting, but I will show you the finished piece. It's because it was so overwhelming, I decided to kind of take it like half at a time. And I think that was probably a good idea, because so I've just finished up the bottom half. And the top half is still not grouted, or in between the keys. I'm going to do that probably last. I think I'm going to flip it over and do the other side. But I'm happy. I was worried that it was going to be kind of gaudy, but I think it looks pretty cool so far. So I'm happy, and I'm going to take a little break, and I'm going to do the top. Flip it over and do the top. I'll check back in a little bit. Okay, so I've just completed the top. I'm going to go through and polish up a little bit more, a couple of those spots. There's a spot, I think. But it's looking pretty cool. I'm actually happy with it. The last step I'm going to do like the middle. Pull over here. Now, this is not grouted in here. And in between the keys, I am going to, I don't think it, I would necessarily have to, but I think I'm going to. I'm using that unsanded grout, which, it's weird. And everybody says, oh, if you're using glass and you don't want to scratch it with the sand grout, use the unsanded. It's kind of weird. It's gooey. It's, it's goo. So I'm really not loving the unsanded grout, but it's, I've already done a lot of this piece in it, so I'm going to finish up this last little bit, and that will be it will be done. Ta-da! Alright, so I've just finished it up. Here it is, my keyboard extravaganza dream wall vision. Actually, I'm kind of burnt on this. I'm giving the mosaics a rest because I am a little bit burnt on this stuff. It was a chore to finish this, really. I actually sat around for a few weeks until I finished it. Okay, so here's the finished product. Pretty cool, not too, I would say not too, gaudy at all. Pretty sweet. I'm gonna, I just finished, so it's gonna dry, and then tomorrow I'll go with the Q-tips and get every little tile and make sure every little piece of dirt's off every little tile. But I think it did turn out pretty cool, not gaudy, not too gaudy. That black really makes everything recede. So this is going up in my little music room, my little studio place. And here it is. Keyboard Dreams.